Hey guys, it's BK back here again with another video, and today it's not a movie collection update video, it's not a music thing, whatever. I'm gonna do another video game thing, which I don't really do much on this channel actually. This video I'm gonna talk about my top 15 childhood video games. Yes, basically these are video games from my childhood that well, most of them are from my childhood, some of them are a little older, like some classics that I would play on like the computer or something. And, so I'm 19 years old, by the way. I was born in October of '99, and basically I started playing video games when I was about 4 years old, early 2004, late 2003 or something. And that was around the time I got the GameCube, and the first game I got with that was Mario Kart Double Dash. I played the hell out of it, still do every once in a while. It's still one of my favorites. So basically, these are pretty much games that I grew up playing, like whether they're from from when I was born, and like so on, like older, or just ones that most people would probably play. Before we start, I have a few honorable mentions that I want to put out there. The GTA Vice City, it was a game I used to play on my friend's PS2 all the time whenever I would go over to his house. And then I eventually bought it on iTunes or App Store, and then I put it on my iPod and I would play it constantly. I know like, the GTA Vice City, I know it's a really inappropriate game for a kid who's probably like what, 9 or 10 at the time playing this. So like these are like games from like I played from when I was like 4 up until like maybe like 10. So like a 6 year like age thing or whatever. Lifespan, I guess. I don't know what you call it. It's a game I always have fun playing whenever I go to my friend's house or when I play it on my iPod. Another one I want to mention is Super Mario 64. Actually, you're actually going to see a lot of Mario games on this list because Mario was a big part of my childhood. Basically, anything Nintendo really was a big part of my childhood. But Mario 64 was one I used to have the most fun playing. I mean, I still do to this day. Like I still play on my N64 every once in a while. And I remember always like running around like the Bob-omb Battlefield like area, whatever, like the snow areas, and like just running around, jumping off cliffs, like getting killed in that. And my last honorable mention, The Incredibles. Yes, it was a game I used to play on the GameCube a lot when I was a kid. It was one of the very few Disney games that I used to play when I was a kid. And I know there was some other ones I used to play too, like Finding Nemo on the Game Boy Advance, and then that Mickey's Speedway USA game, I think it's called on the Nintendo 64, which is a game I don't own that game, but I played at my aunt and uncle's place. I mean, and I think they still have it. But The Incredibles, so one that I played a lot when I was a kid. Like I would always like play as a Mr. Incredible or somebody, and I'd fight all these bad guys on the rooftops and that. So that's it for the honorable mentions. Now let's get to the list. And about half of these games that are on this list I actually don't own. Like they're just, like some of these were games that I would play at like a friend's house or I would just borrow them or like rent them from the video store even. And you're gonna see some PS2 games on here too. I mean, I don't own a PS2, but I borrowed one from my aunt and uncle. Like I had it with me for a couple of years, and there were times I would rent some games from the video store and I would play on it. Well, enough chit chat. Let's get to shit. In my number 15 spot, it's like a game that I don't know if a lot of people would play nowadays. Like it's one like a sports game. Like I didn't play tons of those as a kid, but this one, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, was one that I used to play a lot when I was a kid. And I mean, I still play it every once in a while on my GameCube, but I think the first time I played it was on the original Xbox. I played it at my mom's friend's house. Like they have one, and then like when I was younger, like they didn't have. I like at the time they didn't have kids, so when I was bored, I would play on their Xbox. There was like that game, and there was like I think so like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic or something. I remember that being one of them. But I think Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 was one that I played the most whenever I would go over there. I loved playing as Tony Hawk in that game, like going around like the college or whatever, and like Alcatraz or whatever, like skating around, doing all these stunts and these tricks and falling off and that. Like I always had fun playing it, and you can even unlock a Jango Fett at one point in the game as well. Out of all the Zelda games that are out there, this one, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, this is the one that I played the most as a kid, and I probably still one that I've played the most. Like I used to play this like all the time at my aunt and uncle's place. I didn't really know what I was doing at times playing it. Like I would just be walking around like swinging the swords at people or even at the bushes, whatever, and then like I would like, get lost at one point while I'm playing it. But Ocarina of Time is still one of my favorite video games to play on the N64, and one of my favorite Zelda games too. I mean, yeah, this game is only like maybe a year or two older than me, but it was one that was like kind of like part of my generation at the time when I first played this, which was probably back in 2005, I think it was. But other than that, I know a lot of people do say this is the greatest Zelda game of all time, and yeah, I do agree that it is one of the best ones out there. And number 13, this was a game I used to play on the computer. Like I didn't play on the Atari or on the NES or whatever. Like I didn't know about those systems at the time, and nor anybody in my family had in our house. But Pac-Man was a game that I used to play a lot on the computer when I was a kid. I would always like go around like the maze and always get like killed by the ghost or even like eat up those like white dots on the maze. Or if I don't know if there's a name for those white dots. I don't know what it is. I kind of like to think of them as Tic Tacs, kind of like what the annoying orange would call it. But for a game that came out way before I was born, like back in the early '80s, I believe, this was one that I always had fun playing. Coming out at number 12 is another game that I used to play on the computer all the time, and it's Donkey Kong, like the original Donkey Kong, the very first Mario game, the very first Donkey Kong game, the one that started it all. This one I loved playing as a kid, and I still do to this day actually. Like I'll play it every once in a while when I'm bored or whatever. And I remember like always climbing up the ladders and like trying to save Pauline, which was Princess Peach's name at the time, or Princess Toadstool, whatever you guys call her or called her back then. I mean, I call her Princess Peach. But yeah, I mean, like this was, I mean, for me it was kind of a harder game to play. Like I would always get killed by the barrels, and I would always get killed by Donkey Kong, whatever. And like I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. But other than that, this was one that I used to have a lot of fun playing. I mean, still do. Coming at number 11, there's actually going to be three, and this is from one franchise. It just came out of the game recently on the Switch, and it gets popular and popular each time a new game from the franchise comes out, and that's Super Smash Bros. Yes, the first three. I remember playing the first one on the Nintendo 64 back in 2004 or 2005 or something, and I didn't know what the hell I was playing at the time. I just knew it was a game with Mario characters, Pokemon characters, like a whole bunch of Nintendo characters. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know it was a Smash Bros. Game. I didn't know it was a fighting game. Basically, what I would do, I was walk on the platform, fall to my death, going off the cliff, whatever. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was like 4 years old at the time. And then there comes Melee, which was even better than the Nintendo 64 version. I mean, like Melee was one that I probably didn't play like a whole lot, because I don't know, my parents never got it for me, and then there was like that odd time I would rent it from the video store. But then I got back to playing it like a couple years ago, because like at my school we had like this like anime thing, like Smash Bros tournament at our school, like in my old high school, and like I would go to those and I would play Smash Bros with a whole bunch of kids that I went to school with. And then came Brawl, which I think I kind of want to say I played that the most. I'm not sure, because I think my friends. Because my friends had that one. I mean, they probably still do, but I don't know. Like I would always play at their house, and then eventually, yeah, I bought my own copy of the game, and like I would play it every once in a while. And then the ones that came out after that, it's not really from my childhood era. Like they're more from like when I was in like middle school or like early high school days. Coming at number 10, it wasn't a very kid-friendly game, but I mean it was a game based off of like a family show, I guess, like a cartoon show. That's well, I guess pretty sure for anybody really, but it wasn't like that inappropriate. It was more family friendly, and that's The Simpsons Hit and Run. It was basically The Simpsons and GTA rolled into one, I guess, but without all the guns and all the killing and that. Well, at least I don't think I haven't played that game in like 10 years or something, maybe even longer than that. But The Simpsons Hit and Run, that was I used to rent that from the video store a lot, and I always like the driving around the Springfield and like running over people, and then like even going to like the Quickie Mart and like looking through like all the stuff that was in there, even like all the suits that you can put on Homer. And there were other Simpsons games that came out shortly after or even a little bit before. Like there was Simpsons Road Rage, which I didn't play that one a whole lot, but like Simpsons Hit and Run was the one I played the most out of all the Simpsons games. And then there was that one called The Simpsons Game that came out I think around the time the Simpsons movie came out. Like I only played it like once or twice on my friend's PS2, I think it was. It was fun, but I didn't think it was as good as Hit and Run, which it's kind of a crazy game for a kid at the time. I was probably 5 or 6 at the time maybe. I think the first time I played this was on the OG Xbox, and then I started renting it from the video stores and not playing like for my GameCube. I had so much fun playing it. If I ever see that game in stores, no matter how much it is, I will probably buy it. Oh, I forgot you guys were still here. Well, if you guys haven't guessed for my number 9 spot, Guitar Hero and Rock Band. Yes, I was probably like 8 years old, 9 years old the first time I played these games. The first one, I think Guitar Hero came out first, I believe. It was like 2005, and Rock Band came out a little bit later. And I remember the first time I played it as a kid, I had trouble playing the guitars and like the drum, even the drums. Like I thought the drums would look easy back then, but and the guitars too. For me, it was hard. It took a little bit of practice actually, but one thing I was good at was singing, and it's even to this day I still sing. I mean I was in choir like most of middle school and all of high school. But Guitar Hero, it was like back then it was a fun party game to play. It still is, but it's not. I don't think it'd be a game that you see at parties like too often. Before it would be, then like Just Dance came along, but I don't think people really play that anymore now. Like Guitar Hero and Rock Band, a lot of my favorite songs are on there. I started off as more of a country guy. There were like very little country songs in those games, but there was mostly like rock songs and pop songs. But then I eventually got more into like rock and heavy metal stuff, like the bands like Led Zeppelin, Metallica, you know. Like Guitar Hero and Rock Band, to this day, they're still great games. There's a lot of Mario Party games out there, and I haven't played all of them, but I think the one I feel like I played the most was Mario Party DS, and I feel like that's also one I had the most fun playing. I have Mario Party 6 on the GameCube, but I played that one a lot too as a kid, but then it wasn't until I got Mario Party DS I felt like I started playing that more, because I guess like the DS was more of like a travel thing, and I pretty much took my DS everywhere really. I'm still saying my Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, I would take that everywhere, but I didn't have very many games back then for it. It was kind of the same with my DS, but then I eventually started buying more games. For those two consoles actually, but I think the DS is the one I've had the most fun with, like with the double screens and that, and then like the graphics look better, and the games were I've found were a little bit easier to play, because like some of the Game Boy Advance games were a little too difficult for me when I was a kid. But Mario Party DS, that one I still have fun playing. I'll go on my DS whenever I'm bored or whatever, and I don't know if it's really, I don't know if this is like the best Mario Party game. I know some of the games that came out like before, like a little bit before Mario Party DS, or even a little bit after, they weren't like that good. Like Mario Party 8, for example, I know that one wasn't the best. Like, even as a kid, I hated that game. But then I started playing it again, and I just kind of started to grow on me a little bit, but I haven't really played it much since. Like I said, I haven't played every Mario Party game. I've only played from the third one up till number 9, I believe. I'm pretty sure. I haven't played the first two games yet, like the first two Mario Parties yet, and I do have an N64. And I mean, like the Mario Party games on Nintendo 64 are expensive as fuck. But if I see them like on Kijiji or in stores or something for like a reasonable price, then I could pick them up. And there are also Mario Party games released on the 3DS, but they're not. To me, they're not as good as Mario Party DS. No, Mario Party DS has a lot of fun mini games that I enjoyed playing. Coming in my number 7 spot is Crosswords on the DS. Yes, this was a game I got for my birthday one year. I didn't know what it was until I opened the present, and it was a crosswords game, which was kind of like a different game for me because like I didn't know those kind of games existed on the DS. But when I started playing it, I immediately fell in love with it. Cause but back then I loved words. Like there's word searches on there too. I was crazy over word searches. I mean, I still am sometimes. No, I wasn't all for the crosswords at the time, but replaying these games again, like 10 years later, I started to become obsessed with the crosswords on there, and I even have the game Crosswords Plus on the 3DS, which is another fun one too. The crosswords, you can do like easy puzzles, like medium level or hard level. You can pretty much pick the difficulty that you want to do. It gets easy. Cause when you go from easy, you'll get harder and harder and harder. And I remember back then it got to the point where it got too difficult for me, so I just kind of gave up playing it for a little while, and then I eventually got back to playing a few years later. Coming at number 6 is the two Wii Sports games. That's Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. I don't own Wii Sports Resort. I don't have the Wii Motion Plus, but I have. My cousin has the game, and I used to play at a friend's house a lot. But I have the OG Wii Sports. I mean, it came with my Wii, so I think I played that one the most. But they're both great games. Even though I kind of like Wii Sports Resort a little bit more because it has more. There's just more to it. I like the sword fighting that they added in it, and then there's some of the sports on there were updated a little bit. And the Wii Sports Resort also added a few more things to it, like the sword fighting one, a set, and then I think there was a skydiving one too. I haven't played it in a long time. I don't remember what else they added in that, but I want to get the Wii Motion Plus thing to connect to my controller and then buy the actual game eventually. I wonder how much it would cost though. Coming in number 5, out of all the Star Wars games that I played as a kid, Star Wars Battlefront 2 was one that I enjoyed the most. I mean, there were other Star Wars games I played too, there was Rebel Strike, and then I think Rogue Leader, I think it was called, they were both on the GameCube, and there was Jedi Outcast. But yeah, Star Wars Battlefront 2, I would rent it from the video store and play it on my aunt and uncle's PS2, like when I had it with me, and I was crazy over it, and I would play it again at my friend's house too eventually. I would go around whichever planet I was on, whether it was Kashyyyk or Tatooine, and just going around shooting up everything, not knowing what the hell I was doing. I was young. I was probably 6 or something at the time I first played it. It's I played Battlefront 2, but I never played the first one, which I find is so strange. I want to get my own PS2 eventually, and get the 2 Battlefront games. Star Wars was a big part of my childhood, and it's still a big part of my life. And the Battlefront 2 happened to be a big part of my childhood as well. I mean, and the new Battlefront games, I know people really shit all over those, but I only have the first one. I'll play it. It's there's nothing special. I mean, you just gotta buy a bunch of shit. Coming in number 4, a computer game. This one is no longer with us, sadly. It got shut down a couple years ago, and it's called Penguin. Yeah, that was a very emotional day, Club Penguin getting shut down. But Club Penguin, I used to play the hell out of that, actually. Me and my friends, we would go to each other's igloos or whatever. We would meet up at a certain place in like the Club Penguin like town or like in the town or whatever, or like we would meet each other on like a hill or whatever, and then like I would make like, pizzas and like buy puffles and like take them for walks or whatever. Like, I had fun playing, and then they eventually came out with a rewritten version too, which I even made an account for it as well, actually like just maybe like shortly before the regular Club Penguin was shut down. I actually did make another account because like there was a period of time I stopped playing Club Penguin for a little while because I decided I guess I kind of grew out of it at one point. It was like around the time I was in middle school. I kind of stopped playing it, and then like by the time I was in the 11th grade or something, I think that was around there. That was when I made another account because I guess my friends were still playing it, and then I'm just like, God damn it, why did I get rid of my account? Fuck. And so I just I went back on it, made another account, put it under the name BKTube, totally different name from what I had before. And then like it shuts down. We were all devastated. Then the rewritten version comes out. I created an account for that. I still use the BKTube name. Yeah. How many Lego games do we have now? I don't know. But the Lego games that came up that were from like 2005 up till 2008. So basically from the first Lego Star Wars game up to the first Lego Batman game, these ones were the games that I was always playing as a kid. But I think when I was a kid, I played the Lego Star Wars ones the most. Cause like things at Star Wars, I was crazy over Star Wars. I still have all of my Lego sets from when I was a kid, and some toys I still have too. And then my aunt gave me a whole bunch that my cousins used to play when they were kids. But then they grew out of them eventually. But I'm a nerd, so yeah, the Lego games. I was obsessed with Lego back then. I still am. I'm 19. I still buy Lego. I know, how silly of me. But yeah, the first Lego game I played was Lego Star Wars, the video game. I played on the GameCube, on the Xbox, the original Xbox. I might have played at a friend's house a long ass time ago. I like it, but the one that was better was Lego Star Wars 2. That one was a lot better than the first one. Because like you get to like actually build stuff. They had more characters. It was based on the original trilogy, which was the most exciting. And then which was even better, we got the complete saga, which came out I think a year after the second one, which was actually better than the first two. Even though it was just the prequels and the originals like put into one, and like they even added way more like it was the same characters from like the previous two games, but then they added a whole bunch more. It was, I don't know how many characters exactly were put in it. I don't know, it was like more than 100. That's all I could say. And then like you can like still build stuff, and then like you could pretty much like play as like anybody from like the prequels and even the originals. And they even added more levels for the bounty hunter missions that you get to do, where you get to play as like all the bounty hunters. You gotta like find like a lot of the rebels and like Jedis, you know. Then came the Indiana Jones one, the first one, I mean the second one. I was 10 years old when the second one came out. That one I liked, but that one I didn't play as much. It just wasn't as good as the first one. But Lego Indiana Jones: The Original Adventures, the ones that only had the first 3 movies in it. That one I loved playing too. I mean, yeah, like I didn't get into Indiana Jones until a little bit later. Like it was the same, like around the time like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull came out. Lego Indiana Jones: The Original Adventures is one that I love playing. Like to this day, even back then, I was crazy over it. I was a big Indiana Jones fan back then, and I still am. And they're still coming out, and they're planning the 5th movie as well, which I'm actually excited for. Which I don't know what year I keep forgetting what year it's coming. They keep changing the year for that movie. Anyway, let's stay on the topic. And then Lego Batman, the video game, which I think was the last of the good Lego games, or maybe Lego Indiana Jones 2 was. But Lego Batman, the video game, I remember like the first time I played it, I didn't really know lots about Batman at the time. I didn't watch it. I don't think I watched any of the movies yet. I didn't really watch any of the shows yet, or I might have watched like a little bit the 60s show, and then there was that show called The Batman, which was a cartoon show. I don't know if any of you guys remember it, but I remember it. But like, I think I watched those at times, but it wasn't until the Lego Batman video game like that was when my obsession with Batman really went crazy. But yeah, I mean, like it was just a little bit before the Dark Knight came out the DVD. That's all I remember. It might have been my birthday, I think I got it actually. And I remember when I first played it, I was stuck on the first level. It took me a couple of days to like pass it, and I mean, like I said, I didn't really know much about Batman at the time. And then they did sequels to the Lego Batman game. I like the second one is good. I know people do like the second one better, but I still like the first one better because nostalgia. And then the third one, there's a third one, Beyond Gotham, I believe it's called. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I couldn't even get past the first level. I traded it not too long ago, actually. At my number 2 spot, I'm sure a lot of people played these games when they were kids, and they probably still do every once in a while. So, actually 2 games from the same like series. Like same franchise, same series, blah blah blah. Mario Kart 64 and Mario Kart Double Dash. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Mario Kart Double Dash was the very first video game I actually played, so I like Mario Kart Double Dash a bit more than Mario Kart 64. They're both different because like Mario Kart Double Dash had like the 2 people in one cart thing, and then like all the other games it was just the 1 person in the 1 cart thing. But I have loads of fun playing Mario Kart. Mario Kart Double Dash is one I still play quite a bit actually. I always play the Special Cup or whatever, or even the Star Cup. Like those 2 are my favorites in the entire game. And I always play as Donkey Kong, Bowser. Like I always have them in the cart. And I don't own Mario Kart 64, but some of my family members do have it for their Nintendo 64, and I would play it on theirs. So like when I was a kid, I would, and then like. When I got a bit older, I would every once in a while, but I don't as much now. They're both nostalgic. They're great games. And my number 1. I don't know. You guys probably won't expect this to be my number 1. You may or you may not. I don't know, but Spider-Man 2. Yes, Spider-Man 2. I play through the entire thing every once in a while. I love going around the city, like swinging around, talking to people, like trying to like stop all these crimes, and even delivering pizzas. Yeah, how did that song even become a meme? I mean, the whole game is like quotable, and like some of the lines in there kind of become memes. Pizza time. I mean, Spider-Man 2, and it's also my second favorite comic book movie of all time. And Tobey Maguire will always be Spider-Man, no matter what people say. He will always be Spider-Man. And when I play Spider-Man on PS4, I swing around with the Sam Raimi suit. And Spider-Man 2 also happens to be one of the best movie-based video games out there. I know a lot of people say GoldenEye is their number 1, but to me, Spider-Man 2 is my number 1. So that's it for my top 15 childhood video games. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.